Somewhere in the ocean, there lived a group of merpeople. Little mermaid Luca had lived here since childhood. Under his parents' influence, he was filled with fear of the land and called the humans on land monsters. Luca's daily job was herding fish. While collecting human items that had fallen to the ocean floor, he met Alberto, who was also a mermaid. Alberto often left the sea surface to go to land. With Alberto's help, Luca left the sea surface for the first time and came to land. A magical scene occurred. The scales on Luca's body were slowly disappearing, and in the blink of an eye, he transformed into a human child. The sudden change terrified Luca, and he only gradually calmed down under Alberto's guidance. Everything around him made Luca curious, yet remembering his parents' warnings, he hurriedly returned to the sea. That night, lying in bed, he tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. The next day, during fish herding time, Luca first used stones to replace himself, then went alone to the seaside. He wanted to go ashore, yet never had the courage to take that step, which even Alberto behind him couldn't bear to watch. Finally, he went ashore under Alberto's leadership. Although he had become like a human, Luca had no idea how to walk. With Alberto's help, he slowly learned to walk. Next, Alberto not only taught Luca to recognize air, sky, white clouds, sun, and other things that could only be seen on land, he also brought Luca back to his home on land. Looking at Alberto's home, everything made Luca curious, especially when he saw a poster about a motorcycle on the wall. Alberto introduced it to Luca, saying this was the greatest thing humans had created, because with it, one could travel all over the world. For Luca, who had lived in the sea his whole life, the motorcycle undoubtedly gave him a huge impact. Both of them longed to own such a magical tool. Looking at the pile of parts beside them, Luca suggested they make one themselves, yet attempt after attempt failed. Although it didn't have the cool appearance of the poster, it still gave the two brief happiness. Due to Luca's multiple injuries, his parents eventually found out. With the principle of doing everything for Luca's sake, they decided to have Luca stay in the deep sea for a while, completely ignoring the terror of the deep sea. In anger, Luca decided to go with Alberto to the human town, where they would get a motorcycle and ride it to other places in the world. The two quietly played near the town while no one was paying attention. Afraid that humans would see through their disguise, they even learned to greet like humans. The townspeople made their living by fishing and were very afraid of the sea monsters near the waters. Therefore, sculptures of killing sea monsters could be seen everywhere in the town square. Here, the two not only saw the motorcycle of their dreams, they also met a human girl named Julia. It was the season for the summer triathlon, and the competition champion would receive prize money. With the prize money, they could buy a motorcycle. So Luca and Alberto decided to form a team with Julia and participate in the competition together. The competition had 3 parts: swimming, eating pasta, and cycling. Yet they couldn't swim in the water, because any water would turn them back into mermaid form. Julia initially didn't want to compete with them, yet she couldn't resist their requests, so she agreed to complete the swimming competition herself, leaving the rest to them.